Hello, I'm Tom Bailey, and in today's episode, I'm joined today by Robin Waite, who is the founder of Fearless Business, and he helps coaches, consultants, and freelancers to confidently charge more. So, Robin, hello, and a very warm welcome to today's episode.
Thank you, Tom. Very excited to be here indeed.
Excellent, great. And whereabouts are you in the world right now?
Based down in near Bristol in the southwest of England.
Amazing, thank you so much. And let's just jump into the subject of Robin just for a second then. So, Robin is the host of the Fearless Business podcast. He's a Guinness World Record holder, course creator, mentor, and also the author of 6 best-selling books. And the title for today's episode is How to Confidently Charge More for Your Products or Services. And Robin is going to show us how to do that in just under 7 minutes. So question number 1 for you, Robin, is who are your ideal clients?
Ideal clients are people who they run service client businesses, typically charging time for money, so by the hour or by the day, and they're all normally coaches, consultants, or freelancers, albeit I do have a couple of sort of random types of business which fall through the net, which are done some work with some accountants, done some work with several medical aesthetics businesses, and also some dog trainers. So
okay, cool. You've got a big variety there then.
Absolutely.
And when we do think of the core base of your clients, these coaches, consultants, what is the biggest challenge that they typically face?
The biggest challenge is that they're all incredibly bright people. They get amazing results for their clients. But the challenge is that they tend to be running around like busy fools a lot of the time because they're busy selling lots of hours of their time because they need to pay their mortgage, to pay their put food on the table, pay for their bills and things like that. And so they're constantly out there trying to find clients to sell hours to. So through our sort of process, which hopefully we'll get a chance to do that in 7 minutes, is a bit of a challenge, but we will start to dig into how we actually start to unpick that and confidently charge more.
Perfect, thank you. And thinking about these coaches that are busy running around trying to find clients, what impact does that normally have on either them or their business?
Well, typically what they end up doing is a lot of our clients end up coming out of corporate and setting up a job, and then they setting up a business, and invariably they end up creating another job for themselves. The other thing as well is they kind of set their goals around being able to deliver 20 days worth of work a month. So they work out their hourly rate or day rate, multiply that by 20, and they think that that's what they're going to earn. But what they've not factored into that is what goes on behind the scenes in terms of running a business. So marketing and sales and accounts, finance, all of the different facets of the business on top of actually doing the fulfillment. So the reality is they only ever end up selling sort of 3, 4, 5 days a month. And the rest of it is spent kind of, doing the running around like a busy fool, trying to grow their business and work out this problem.
Understood. Yeah, sounds like a pretty painful place to be in. So if you are in that situation, what is one valuable piece of advice that you might give somebody to really help them get out of that downward spiral?
The key thing is when people charge by the hour, they actually forget to factor in 2 really important pieces of information into that calculation. So the first one is intellectual property. A lot of the clients we worked with are very experienced business people, regardless of whether they've been in a job or through running their own business for X number of years. So all of this knowledge that they've learned over the years, getting case studies, reviews and testimonials and success stories with clients, they forget to factor that into the calculation. And the second thing they forget to factor into the calculation, I kind of touched on before, but it's the overheads and operating expense in a business. And actually, when you start to think about it, you could, your time is about 1/3 of what you should charge for something. Intellectual property is probably another 1/3. And the overheads and expenses are probably another 1/3. So typically, most people charging by the hour could 2x or 3x their prices and end up at a more reasonable rate where they feel like they're getting paid their worth.
Yeah, it makes complete sense to me. And as a 6 times author, course creator, and online coach, have you got some valuable free resources that you could share with people to really help them move forward?
Yeah, so one of my best bet is probably this book, Take Your Shot. So there's a couple of options this one. One, you can always help me out by buying it on Amazon if you want to, and it's on Audible as well if you're into audiobooks. But I am giving away free copies to your listeners. This is an exclusive. I mean, I'm a pretty generous guy anyway, but they can head on over to fearless.biz/TYS for Take Your Shot. You can download a free copy of that. And if your listeners are based in the UK, I will post out a copy to them as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. And that's fearless.biz/TYS. And I'll put a link to that below this episode so people can click that and get a copy of that book. Thanks, Robin. What would you say is your greatest failure that you've ever made, either in life or in business? And what did you learn from it?
Well, first and foremost, I don't believe in failure is not an option, really.
Yeah.
I believe you win or you learn. Those are kind of the two best outcomes. So take the F word out of the vocabulary for a start. But in terms of my own personal sort of where I look back on my business journey and think, well, maybe I could have done things ever so slightly differently. So I ran a marketing agency for the best part of 12 years. And there's a lot which I've learned about as being a coach, and what I've learned about sort of pricing and money mindset that I wish I'd known back in 2004 when I first set that agency up. And really, the key thing for me was about being brave around your pricing. Like when you've got cash flow coming in through the business, it gives you so many more opportunities than the countless years worth of struggle which I had during those early agency days. And I don't want any business owner to have to go through what I went. I went through the painful process, and nobody else has to.
Great. And all those lessons that you learned along the way, that is available resources and content that you can help people avoid those problems.
Absolutely.
Great. And the last question from me today is, what is one question that I should have asked you that will also give some great value to our audience today?
Well, one of the first things or most common questions I actually get asked is, well, how do you increase your prices? So I kind of given a couple of snippets around obviously why you should increase your prices, but how. And that's I'll try and break it down as quick as I possibly can. So if you're charging by the hour, let's say you're a web designer and your websites are going to take 20 hours to build and you charge £50 an hour. What you've got to start doing to productize your service is get used to saying the big number, the £1,000, rather than £50 an hour at 20 hours. So get used to saying the big numbers. Once you've started being able to articulate your value, say the big numbers, and start to sell packages at £1,000, generally what happens then, and this is the bit of the pixie dust moment with the coaching, you just get it. All of a sudden you get used to what it's like to sell packages with big numbers attached to them. More often than not, what happens at that point, my clients will then say things along the lines of, oh my gosh, Robin, I can't believe how easy it was to sell the last package. We've already put our prices up. So next thing you know, they're selling it for 1,500 or 1,800 or 2.5K or something like that. So you've just got to go out there and validate at higher price points, but sell it as a package with a big number attached to it.
Fantastic. And sometimes I've heard before is, how would you put a value on the transformation that you're giving to that person rather than the hours that you're putting in?
100%. Yeah, it's all got to be results and outcomes focused. If what you find is you're selling features, HTML code, and hours is a feature, believe it or not, or sessions of coaching is a feature, or days of your time as a consultant is a feature, you're actually doing it wrong. What you need to be focused on is what remarkable outcome are you going to deliver for your client's business, and then that's what you get paid for.
Great. That's an awesome way of looking at it. So, Robin, thanks again for your time today. I've really enjoyed meeting you, and I just can't wait to share this episode with our audience.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.